Can weightlifting stunt growth, specifically for adolescents and children? Can they? Well, tía, can they? Mijo, si levantas pesos te vas a quedar bien chiquito, mijo. No levantas pesos, mijo, te vas a quedar chaparro. Alright, guys, what is up? It's Mr. Chafa here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about if children and adolescents should weightlift. Now, I understand I haven't posted a video in a while, but the next video will be about me me pranking people on Omegle, and I have some good ideas that I write down. I'm going to try it out. Can't wait to try that out. And I also got this new, hopefully I don't drop it. I got warranty on it. Got this new Yeti thing here, Blue Yeti. So the quality of the audio sound is probably a lot better. Now, but before we get into whether or not I think they should do this, we have to review which ones are better and which ones are better and which ones are not. Now, the free weight movements will always be superior than the machines. Now, the free weight movements are movements that obviously aren't fixed aren't in a fixed range of motion. So you know how if you go to some gyms will have that what is it called? Hammer strength machine? Yeah, I think a hammer strength machine for like the bench press kind of. It's in a fixed range of motion. So there isn't as much stabilization involved, and it can put your joints and your movement, it can compromise, and you can get injured and have imbalances. Or that one machine where it's like the squat machine or whatever, it's like kind of up and down kind of, that can put extra undue stress on your lower back and your knees, which is not what we want. Machines only work single joints at a time most of the time. Okay, compound movements work move multiple joints at once, and therefore contracts various muscle groups and their stabilizers. But machines are generally single joint, hammer strength curl machine, doing the tricep pull downs. But in all honesty, I would just throw out those garbage machines and stuff like that. And even right now and today, in the advent of the home gym apocalypse, a lot of people are doing home gyms. They're realizing what's important and what's not. The free weight movements are important and they dominate. But anyways, some of these companies are making these machines that kind of have like a slant to them, so it's kind of more a natural motion, but it's still a fixed range of motion nonetheless. No one's going to move that exact same way all the time. What else do people do? That one thing where they spread their legs out like they're gonna freaking like say hello down there. Say hello to all my junk down there. That one exercise. And the benefit of this microphone is we can do some ASMR stuff. All right. So anyways, like I explained, compound movements are the most effective movements that you should do, and the movements that should be a staple of your workout program. Okay. And they're also more time effective. So what I mean is they're more time effective is that let's say we're just gonna compare. I don't know. Let's see. All the gym bros like to do the bench press, right? Let's compare the bench press with the machines. Okay, so when you do a bench press, you're working your pectoralis major, this juicy chesticle right here. This juicy chesticle right here. You're working your anterior deltoids, the deltoids in the front, and a little bit of your lateral deltoids, the ones on the top. and your triceps, and as what's his name? Forgetting his name. Anyways, I'll put him in the video. As he likes to call it, tricepticons, or working your triceps. If someone were to do bench press, and someone else were to go onto machines to work the chest, to work the chest by itself, or then the triceps, then do front front raises and lateral raises, it would take up a lot more time, and it won't be as effective. Another reason why compound movements are superior is that, well, it limits imbalances. Now, I say limit because there still could be imbalances even though you do compound movements. Like, for example, people that do too much horizontal pushing, like too much bench press, but they don't do enough horizontal pulling, like they don't do enough face pulls, or they don't balance the posterior side from the anterior side. That can lead to pain in the shoulders, or that can lead to this gorilla posture, this oi oi oi, this like posture, like square up dog, square up. I just put Quasimodo here to represent that, because machines, you're more likely to have an imbalance, a muscle imbalance, if you just do machines. Okay, and over here we just have some examples of compound movements. Here we have, rows, front squat, or power clean, or clean, whatever this person's doing. Obviously, the bro culture, the bro lift, the bench press, the back squat, and the deadlift. These are just some examples. All right, now, what about your testosterone levels when an adolescent or child lifts? What happens to their testosterone levels? And are there increases in strength and muscle mass? Well, yes, they can see, like adolescents and children, they can see, this works obviously for adults too, but we're talking mainly the children, the youngsters here, is they can see an increase in muscle mass. They can see an increase in muscle mass. They actually can. But not to the extent that an adult, or not to the extent that a person who has passed puberty. So a prepubescent boy cannot see major increases in muscle mass compared to a post-pubescent boy. If that's even a word to post. I know pre-pubescent is, but post-pubescent? After puberty. The person after puberty will most likely see major increases in muscle mass. However, prepubescent boys and post-pubescent boys can see this increases in strength. They can see it actually equally, almost. Funny thing is I'm in physiology right now, so the stuff that we learned in physiology of the muscle, I can just help myself here. All right, so over here we have the Schwann cell. It's the thing that's outside and envelops, and it's enveloped in various layers of this myelin sheath. So this Schwann cell helps to insulate the signal, and therefore to help send the signal to the muscle faster. There's something called the all or none principle. So what the all or none principle basically is, it's basically where here we have these motor neurons that connect here to the neuromuscular junctions. And in the neuromuscular junctions, we know that acetylcholine is released to help contract the myofibrils. So the all or none principle states that basically, for example, let's say I pick this calculator up. I'm picking it up. It's very light. So my body's not going to activate many muscle fibers to do this job. But then as I pick something heavier, it's going to recruit more and more muscle fibers, meaning it's going to send more and more signals to activate more and more of these muscle fibers to produce more and more force to lift that heavy-ass object off the ground, to push someone away, to push an attacker away, to punch someone to kick someone in the balls, or to sprint. even away from an attacker, whatever, a bear, whatever, fight, whatever. Children can also see, and adolescents, they can learn the movements, like let's say if they're learning the snatch, or if they're learning how to squat, how to clean and jerk, how to deadlift, bench press. They can learn the movement very quickly due to the fact that their neuroplasticity, which is their ability to learn various like motor tasks. Like I think, for example, right here is I have piano, right? We're learning the piano, even an instrument. Their neuroplasticity is very high. Okay, so they can learn the movement, obviously with a broomstick first, to learn just the movement before they progress to heavier and heavier barbells, like if there's a 5-pound one, a 10-pound one, etc., etc. Can weightlifting stunt growth, specifically for adolescents and children? Can they? Well, Tia, can they? Mijo, si levantas pesos te vas a quedar bien chiquito, mijo. No levantas pesos, mijo. Te vas a quedar chaparro. That's probably what my grandma or one of my other aunts would say. They would say, don't lift weights, you're going to be short. It's going to cause you to be short. Now, I'm going to debunk this myth. And usually, obviously, this has to do the case with that parents, even parents, they're just not educated. Parents or siblings are not educated. However, you're here and you're going to be educated. So let's debunk that myth right now. So yeah, you guys know, no it does not, no it does not, right? No it does not. But why? Here we have I know that for you guys that don't like anatomy, this is probably boring as hell, but bear with me, okay? We're not really too worried about this stuff. We're mostly worried about what's called the epiphyseal line, okay? So what the hell is an epiphyseal line? Well, the epiphyseal line is a line found in mostly long bones, and it's found in the ends of bones, of long bones more specifically. So a long bone is your humerus. A long bone is your femur. A long bone is your ulna, is your radius. Long bones. And there in the long bones are epiphyseal lines on both sides, okay? So as you grow over time, it will calcify. It'll calcify inside, and it'll push the edges out, and the bone will become longer. Osteoblast versus osteoclast. An osteoblast forms bone. It's a cell that makes bone. An osteoclast is a cell that eats bone for the nutrients. Eats bone. So it degrades bone. Typically, what causes children to be short or possibly make one limb grow more than the other is fractures at these long bones. Fracturing the epiphyseal line, fracturing these areas can impede growth in those areas. But when you lift weights, you do not fracture bones. I almost thought I did, but it wasn't at the epiphyseal line. That was just an accident in the snatch. When I did a snatch, I failed it improperly, sat down, my legs were up, and it whacked me on the right tibia and the left a little. And I thought I actually had fractured it. So I went to get an x-ray. I was Gucci Mane. I was Gucci. I was good. Children, when they learn the proper motor pattern from lifting, and when they actually go into their go from being prepubescent to postpubescent, and they start increasing the weight on the barbell, or even before then, with obviously a supervised trainer or a coach. As you increase the load over time, your bones adapt. The human body, the human physiology is made to adapt at whatever stressors you put upon it. So, therefore, your bones, they're going to be little microfractures on your bones. Little microfractures. Same thing in your muscle. In your muscle fibers, skeletal muscle, there's going to be little microfractures, okay? So, for your bones, your body's going to say, oh, crap. We better fix these bones and make them harder or else they can break. We don't want that. So the osteoblast would come in. It would use calcium through your diet, and it would start to go in there and heal the little fractures. It would not just only repair, but also put extra in there. So it would make your bones therefore denser. So if your bones are denser, there's going to be less likely of a chance for you to actually break a bone, which is actually, I think, the reason why when that snatch 135-pound barbell fell on me, I dropped it from overhead to my tibia, hit it like perpendicularly like this. It did not fracture. Like the doctors in there were like surprised. They're like, I told them it hit it like perpendicularly. It was swollen though, like really swollen. Lifting in general cause injuries. I say it can. It can cause injuries, even to children and adolescents and adults. We know that lifting, the sport of lifting, like weightlifting and powerlifting, we know that those sports are you guys could even search this up. They have the least injury rates compared to per 1,000 hours, I think, of play, compared to like wrestling, football, soccer, all your other sports that are more well known. But there's always risk of injury to anything. You can get hurt walking down the street, you can trip and freaking break your back. I don't know, you can trip walking down the freaking stairs, fall down and pop. You tear a meniscus or you break your back or whatever. You're gonna be like that one guy.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or
Well,
what portion?
Spinal.
There's a risk to anything. Just some have less risk than others. Okay. But to minimize your risk even further, it's good to have a coach to teach you the movement, obviously, for these children and adolescents. Lifting is relative to you. How something heavy is relative to you. My heavy is not your heavy. His heavy is not her heavy. Her heavy is not his heavy. If you do ego lift, obviously you're going to get injured. If you lift something that's substantially more, like, okay, I understand that's okay to go for a 1 rep max, but within your limits, like 5 pounds or 10 pounds. Previous best deadlift was 405, okay, which mine is 405, and I go for 410, that'll be reasonable after a training cycle. Or for 415, that'll still be reasonable. Linear progression is something that children, adolescents, adults should do when you're obviously beginning and starting. You should follow some sort of linear progression model like 5x5 starting strength or 5-3-1. Actually, lifting weights can give you a hardier body, which can decrease your chance of injury from doing other things even further. Like I said, for example, strengthening the bones, strengthening your ligaments even, so you don't tear, less likely of a chance to tear an ACL, MCL, PCL, stuff from the knee or the arms or whatever. Tendons as well, or strains from the muscle, or it even improves your joint mobility because you're forcing your body into those ranges of motion. And let's say you weren't as mobile before, just by doing the movement more and more, you'll get more mobility in the joint. That's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoy this little rant I had. For these people who say that children can't lift, they'll get injured, it'll stunt their growth, for all the grandmas and tias and tios and all the people who are just not educated enough. Tell your mom or tell your parents that, yes, I can still lift. Show them this video. So that I can educate them about this stuff. Because not a lot of people think that this is safe for children, when in fact it actually is safe. And it's a way to keep active for your child. And for those of you who say that, no, my child will get hurt lifting, but then you go take them to soccer practice and play soccer when they're kids, when that has a higher injury risk compared to lifting, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed. Please make sure that you subscribe, turn on post notifications, like the video, comment down below on what you thought about this, and the next video will be a good prank Omegle video. It'll be very funny. All right, hope to see you guys there. Peace out.